Here we have a Stomvi USA Flex 1C3 VR, and I think the last letter is a B. And there are no other markings on it. I've already checked the throat size, and it is a 150. So we'll put that in. 151 does not fit. 150 is extremely tight. There we go. So it's a little bit larger than a lot of the other Stomvis I've measured. A lot of them tend to be 145 to 140. A 150 would give you a little more tone and color. And measuring the cup diameter, or the rim diameter, I got it in here earlier. It was a 628, and that's again at 120 thousandths of an inch. So it's marked a 1C. In reality, a true Bach 1C, there's a lot of variation. They can go from 628 all the way to 654 or 658. So this would be on the small side of a 1C. But you know, we take all those numbers and letters with a grain of salt because each manufacturer has a different place of measuring the inside diameter. And of course, it depends on which mouthpiece they measured originally. They may have picked up a Bach 1C that was exactly like this and reproduced it, but we have found that there's a wide range of those. So the VR, I believe, means very resonant, and that's they're some type of custom profile they designed that is supposed to create more resonance. And of course, that would be dependent on the bell material, the material that the horn's built out of, a lot of other factors as well. But in the mouthpiece, they're trying to make it more resonant. So here we have the backbore is a 342, which is right in the middle of the road. Backbores tend to range from 310 to 370. That's kind of the range. So 340 is right in the middle. The length on this one is 3428. All right. So we'll put the calipers down and check out the mouthpiece itself. The contour itself does look very much like a classic 80s or 90s Bach. It's somewhat rounded on the inside and the outside, and I would characterize the rim itself as round, which could feel like it pushes into your chops or into your lips a little too easily. It doesn't give you that flat, more surface area. So if you're a pressure player, this may not be good for you in terms of the pressure, but it could give you some flexibility. If you're not a pressure player, maybe it doesn't make a difference. Well, there was something else I was going to say about it. So it says 1C3. I don't know what that means. And I went on the Stomvi website and tried to find exactly why that 3 is there. I did not find it. So maybe it's on the website. Maybe one of you knows why that's there or what it designates. But if you could let me know in the comments, I would appreciate that. Sharing knowledge, of course, is something we can all do. So let's play this mouthpiece and just see how it sounds. Alright, so what I feel in this mouthpiece, of course, is that somewhat rounded rim that feels almost sharp on my lips. And I think I could get used to that. It's not a problem. But if you were using a lot of pressure, I could see how it could really dig into your lips. And I'm certain that they make other profiles of the rim, so you could get one that's more flat. I also hear some mids that sound pretty nice, but almost none of the lower partials really sound present once you get into the staff. I don't really hear much of the lows, and I'm not really sure why, but you know, if I had to guess, just looking at the mouthpiece and playing it for just a minute, I would guess it has something to do with the shape of the bowl of the cup and the entrance to the throat. But I'm not really sure why those aren't there, because the backbore is a relatively medium size, meaning you should get more of those. And the throat is just big enough to be able to get some more of those low overtones. I think if this throat were a 160 or a 165, it would probably really warm up and have a really full-bodied sound. But for an all-around mouthpiece that maybe is going to be played in big bands, where you're playing maybe the first or the fourth part, where you might be doubling the first in the upper register, this might be a good mouthpiece. The other thing I would note is that it doesn't seem to have the clarity of attack that I'm used to achieving on my own mouthpiece. As I play up and down on the notes, it feels like I could kind of slide off of the attack on almost any note. Almost like it would be easier to just slip off of the attack. I would not say that's something that is a characteristic problem of my playing. I typically am very accurate, so I'm guessing that it's the shape, and this shape might be just conducive for a different type of player who uses different techniques. But you know, because of the roundedness inside the profile, I wish I had cut this one in half so you could see inside it. But it's got a pretty round profile in there, and I'm guessing that it's almost too smooth to give you that little bit of extra impedance as you play higher and lower. So that is the Stomvi Flex 1C3VRB.